Coming up on Cronkite News, it's been nearly a week since the elections, and another ballot drop is expected tonight, where the top races stand.
Plus, it could be harder to find a Thanksgiving turkey this year. The details on what's causing the shortage.
And later, athletes go to great lengths to become the best. How far one golfer has traveled to achieve his goals.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Atria Maneshny.
And I'm Connor McGill. Thank you for joining us. It's been almost a week since the election, and Arizona continues to get national attention, with many races still close to call. Nearly 200,000 ballots were counted over the weekend, and we expect the rest of the results to be counted by the end of the week. The Secretary of State's office is updating numbers throughout the day as counties report. Let's take a look at where some of the current races stand. In the race for governor, Democratic Katie Hobbs has held a steady lead over Republican Kari Lake. Hobbs' campaign manager has already claimed victory, but Lake has not conceded yet, and the race has not been called for Hobbs.
In the race for senator, the Associated Press called the race for incumbent Democrat Mark Kelly, and the former astronaut gave a victory speech over the weekend. Kelly is holding a more than 100,000 vote lead over Republican Blake Masters.
For Attorney General, both candidates have taken the lead in different points of ballot counting. Right now, Democratic Chris Mays leads over Republican Abe Hamadeh by a very slim margin.
Superintendent of Public Instruction has also seen the lead switch between incumbent Democrat Kathy Hoffman and Republican Tom Horn. This race remains neck and neck.
And here in Maricopa County, Democrat Julie Gingle has conceded to incumbent Republican Rachel Mitchell. Gingle's campaign sent out to the press release after Mitchell tweeted earlier today to thank her supporters and poll workers.
We know a few other races are too close to call as well. With ballots still left to be counted, mainly from Maricopa and Pima County, races with small margins could still change. Reporter Olivia Doles is at the Maricopa County Election Center to give insight on the ballot numbers.
It's been nearly a week since tabulation began, and workers are still counting ballots in the building behind me. There are about 160,000 ballots left to be counted. A lot of the ballots left to be counted require signature verification, which is a time-consuming process. In at least 3 races, governor, attorney general, and superintendent of public instruction, the margins are so slim that vote counts could change the lead. Although the AP is reporting that Kari Lake needs to win about 57% of new ballots in order to take the lead. One of the races with a declared winner is the race for Secretary of State, with Democrat Adrian Fontes defeating Republican Mark Fincham. Today, Fontes addressed his win and his goals moving forward.
We have to start the healing process. It is time to end the divisiveness. It is time to end the partisanship, particularly when it comes to election administration. It is time to end the lies. As Secretary of State, I represent all Arizonans, regardless of whether or not you voted for me. I have your best interest in mind as a voter.
Candidate for Secretary of State Mark Fincham still has not yet conceded. Another election update is expected tonight at 6 p.m. In Phoenix, Olivia Doles, Cronkite News.
The Supreme Court has cleared the way for the House committee investigating the January 6th insurrection to get Kelly Ward's phone and text records. Ward is the chair of the Arizona Republican Party. She and her husband sued to stop the release of the records, claiming it was a First Amendment violation. Both a district court in Phoenix and the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals previously ruled against the couple, and the Supreme Court agreed in a ruling this morning. The House committee is seeking phone and text records from November 2020 through January 2021. This is a period where Ward and her husband served as fake electioneers, falsely claiming that former President Donald Trump won Arizona in the 2020 general election. Coyotes cleared another small hurdle in their effort to build a permanent home in Tempe. The Tempe City Council took up the measure against last Thursday, and Cronkite News reporter Adam Schwager joins us in the newsroom with more on what the council said.
The Tempe City Council voted unanimously to reserve May 16th for a referendum vote that will likely be used for the Arizona Coyotes development proposal. The Coyotes are seeking approval on a nearly $2 billion 46-acre project that consists of their new arena, over 1,500 apartments, and an entertainment district in downtown Tempe. The referendum, which the Coyotes support, would allow all residents of Tempe to have a say on the expansive project. The City Council held the special meeting because state law requires governing bodies to give at least 180 days advance notice of an election, and the council believes a spring election will allow for greater representation.
We also have a lot of people who might be on vacation or with their families during the summer, and so they might not be around to actually be able to participate in democracy this way. So we thought reserving this date for the May 16th election is very consistent with what we do for all of our city elections and gives our residents a real chance to have a say.
While reserving the date was a necessary step, the City Council will have to convene on November 29th to approve the Coyotes plan and vote on officially sending it to referendum. In the newsroom, Adam Schwager, Cronkite News.
Thanksgiving is still over a week away, but you may want to go out and get your turkey now if you haven't done so already. An outbreak of bird flu is hurting farms across the country and limiting what's available this holiday season. Extreme weather conditions and rising inflation are also factors in the shortage. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says to expect to pay roughly 23% more for your turkey this year compared to 2021.
Housing prices have definitely strained the wallets in the Phoenix metro area, but Isabella Fredrickson tells us more affordable housing communities are breaking ground across the valley.
Maryvale High School special education teacher Kareem Neal hopes to soon live in Greenlight communities, currently under construction in Phoenix.
For me, this project means hope. Hope that we will stop losing teachers to things like salary, to other states that offer maybe better prices on rents.
According to the National Low Income Housing Coalition, Phoenix is among the top 10 metro areas facing the most severe affordable housing shortages. Only 20 rentals are available for every 100 low-income renters. Greenlight Communities is one of a number of new communities being built that focuses on affordable housing.
Now, these apartments will combat the many issues our community is currently facing today, including the teacher shortage and high rental costs, hopefully giving members of our community a place to finally call home at an affordable price.
Greenlight says these apartments are geared towards working and middle-class people and will cost noticeably less than most other apartments in the area.
So in essence, what it means is that we can rent, this project's going to rent an average about $1,200 a month.
According to Rent.com, the average rent of a one-bedroom apartment in Phoenix is around $1,500. This is out of reach for many people making the median income of just $31,000 a year. Neil is certainly looking forward to a new home closer to his work and more money in his bank account.
Currently pay $1,900 a month, and it would be $1,200 a month, and that would be cool to live in a nice place that also is affordable.
In Phoenix, Isabella Fredrickson, Cronkite News.
Greenlight has at least 7 new communities in the works. In addition, other developers have opened new affordable housing projects in the East Lake community in Phoenix, Chandler, and Tempe.
Still ahead on Cronkite News. A Valley Hospital group is responding to flu season with new visitor restrictions. See how visitors will be affected.
On the Hollywood Walk of Fame is goal for many artists, including those from Arizona. We take a look at who makes the cut and who doesn't.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
find the flavors will marry nicely.
Can you tell me what I'm looking at?
I'm not looking for love, I'm looking for cookies.
And there's still places to discover. It just absorbs you.
You can make this at home if you can't find it.
I will continue to eat and drink until you get here. Get here fast.
Cheers.
Oh, look at that. Oh, doesn't that look good?
We are going to be eating well.
It does work. It does.
We got a happy little sky.
We're just getting started.
Welcome. How utterly charming.
Are you ready to get it going?
How does an English fan come to be Italian Riviera?
A fresh start.
Can I trust you?
Are you ready for the show?
You can't be afraid to show them what you've got, what you want.
Are we having a party?
Of course, the more the merrier.
I love this place. It's my home now. Trouble in paradise. I can't do it on my own.
This is revenge.
There are consequences.
Be careful.
Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Oh.
You look like you need rescuing.
Don't we all?
What is it that you want?
I just want to let go.
I choose how I live.
There is the passion that I've been looking for.
Banner Health is implementing new visitor restrictions at all of its hospitals across the state today. It's in response to an increase in flu and respiratory virus cases. All visitors over 2 will have to wear a mask during their visit. People who are feeling sick at all should not visit. Children under 12 must be supervised at all times, and only siblings older than 13 without cold symptoms are allowed to visit a new baby. Banner Health officials say this is necessary because respiratory virus cases are up more than 300% in a typical flu season in Arizona.
Some health officials worry we could see an even bigger increase in flu and COVID infections this winter with colder temps. Are we seeing an early winter here, Luke?
I mean, it sure feels like it, especially waking up this morning with those lows in the 40s. For the remainder of the evening, though, we're going to enter into the 50s after 7 p.m. We're going to have a calm wind with that as well. For the state highs tomorrow, 71 degrees in Phoenix, 43 up towards Flagstaff, 72 in Tucson, and even 71 in Yuma. That's definitely an area where we usually see higher temperatures in the states. But below average temperatures for the next 6 to 10 days across the majority of the United States, and especially up towards the east and the northeast area and a little bit of the Midwest as well. And that is because of the jet stream we have right now. These are the blue arrows the white arrows, these blue splotches moving across your screen. These blue arrows down south, that is not something we usually see this time of year that far south. That means a lot of the cold air from the north is pushing its way down, pushing the warm air down further than it usually is. And that's bringing cooler temperatures to even Phoenix, Kansas City, and obviously the northeast. And that's going to be reflected in our 8-day forecast for us as well. Tuesday, a little bit of cloud cover, 70 degrees is the high. But the remainder of the week, we're going to be sticking around with that same sort of weather system. And that weather system is pretty much the same for the majority of the country right now, with temperatures below average. Temperatures 77 degrees is our average. We're going to see 68 on Thursday, 68 on Friday. And Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be the same story for the start of next week. In the Cronkite News Weather Center, I'm Luke Vickery.
Thank you, Luke. A-list stars in Hollywood know it takes more than an Oscar or an Emmy to achieve legendary status. It takes a star of the Walk of Fame.
There are hundreds of them now, including some from Arizona like Alice Cooper and Rex Allen. But who makes it and who doesn't? Cronkite News reporter Haley Forbes takes a look.
It's a scene repeated more than a dozen times a year.
Hollywood Walk of Fame, Jefferson.
The dedication of a Hollywood star. It began in the 1960s as a way to celebrate the entertainment industry's biggest names. The Hollywood Walk of Fame is a place where celebrities are immortalized. Many you've heard of, many you haven't. But no matter how obscure, they are stars to someone. Disc jockey Art LeBeau is virtually unknown outside of Southern California, but he still has his fans.
Growing up, I always listened to his radio station. My dad and my mom would always play it Sunday nights, like literally 5 years old to like now. And yeah, so a lot of the soul music and like oldies and stuff that I know come from that, and that also applies to the music that I make.
For those making the star selections, the process is lengthy but rewarding. Hundreds of candidates apply, then the names are reviewed by a committee. And finally, about 30 are selected per year. The selection committee looks at multiple factors, including diversity.
I think mostly they're trying to find the talent that should be recognized. Like this, for example, getting Jefferson Airplane should have been done a long time ago at some levels, but it's being done now. So it's a little bit of catch up, but it's also trying to remain relevant, and diversity is part of that.
TV's Wonder Woman, Linda Carter. Andy Devine, who was always the comic relief. Just a couple of examples of Arizona celebrities on the Walk of Fame, which is a popular tourist destination for people from all over the world. On average, 2 stars a month get added to the Walk of Fame.
People come to the Walk of Fame for all sorts of reasons. Whether you're a tourist who wants to see an iconic attraction, or an artist who wants to see the star of the person who inspired them.
It's the recognition of all the artists, all the various actors, producers, music artists. So it's really a public recognition of their contributions.
In Los Angeles, Haley Forbes, Cronkite News.
There are at least 13 celebrities with strong Arizona connections featured on the Walk of Fame. You can find a list of all the celebrities currently on the Walk of Fame by going to walkoffame.com.
I'm Victoria Samuels. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. A different kind of high-speed sport came to the Valley this weekend. We'll have all the details next.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons. Your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS. When you support Arizona PBS, you plant a seed. Seeds that provide educational outreach in our community. Seeds that put our digital resources to work. Seeds that foster the trusted news coverage you expect from PBS. And seeds that continue the amazing PBS programs you love. But our garden can't keep growing without your support. Visit our website to see all the ways you can help our garden grow. Plant a seed with Arizona PBS today.
Welcome back to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Victoria Samuels. The Cardinals just announced that they're releasing former ASU running back Eno Benjamin, a surprise move considering Benjamin has rushed for nearly 300 yards and 2 touchdowns this season. Meanwhile, the Cards pulled out an exciting win this weekend, giving them a 4-6 record and a slim chance at the playoffs. The Cards beat the Rams in Los Angeles 27-17, despite the team's numerous injuries across the field, including quarterback Kyler Murray, who was out with a sore hamstring. Backup Colt McCoy threw for 238 yards, and Budda Baker, a surprise starter who was supposed to be sidelined for 3 weeks, sealed the deal with an interception late in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, the Cardinals lose tight end Zach Ertz for the rest of the season with a knee injury suffered in yesterday's game. The Cardinals will hope to get the rest of their starters back when they play the 49ers on Monday in Mexico City. Another Arizona team got the win in LA just down the road from SoFi Stadium as the Wildcats took on the Bruins. Arizona had been slugging through a 4-game losing streak and were 20-point underdogs going into Saturday night. But the Wildcats didn't let the odds get them, beating the 12th-ranked UCLA 32-28 in one of the biggest Pac-12 upsets of the season. This is their first win over the Bruins since 2010 and their first win over a ranked opponent since 2018. They will now look ahead to Washington State next weekend. Nitro Rallycross returned to Phoenix for the second straight year as Wild Horse Pass hosted the unique motorsport. These four-wheel drive, 600 horsepower machines took to the track under the Arizona sun to see who would win the intense battle. This sport combines aspects from multiple other sports to create a high-speed, high-flying spectacle.
Nitro Rallycross is probably the most challenging event that you can do on four wheels. It challenges you in jumping, sliding, drifting, dirt, pavement. We even have races on snow.
You are battling ruts, you're battling drivers against you the whole entire time. The track conditions are always changing. As we start to drive, the water starts to dry up and the track starts to blue groove. So there's a lot of factors that you have to really put into play.
After a long, hard-fought weekend, Robin Larson, the current points leader, dominated the finals and walked away with his second win of the season. Nitro Rallycross will be making its next stop in Quebec after the new year on January 21st and 22nd. Athletes often go to great lengths to achieve their goals. Cronkite News reporter Joseph Furtado caught up with one golfer who traveled thousands of miles to follow his dream.
Luke Gregg decided to leave his home in Scotland at 18 years old in hopes of living out his dream of playing professional golf. At the age of 13 years old, he began playing golf with the idea of one day playing golf in the United States. Luke was able to find his way to Arizona through an international recruiting service. Now he is a student athlete playing for South Mountain Community College.
He spoke about America probably since he was 16. And that was his goal. And 2 years later, when he was 16, he's got the opportunity, and what a fantastic opportunity that he's got.
When it comes to the courses here in the United States, they play much different than the link-style courses in Scotland, which has been a point of focus in Luke's game. However, that hasn't been the only struggle Luke has had to face while living here.
Golf's the easy part. It's the temperature that's the hard part. You know, I'm hitting the ball a lot further, the greens are a lot smoother. The only difficult part of the greens is the grain.
Separated by an 8-hour time difference, thousands of miles away from his family, staying connected has not always been the easiest thing to do. Though no matter where he goes, Luke says he always tries to keep his dad with him.
I have a little card. He runs a business, so I've got one of his little business cards in my bag that I always keep with me. That's just a sign for that he's always with me, and that's a big thing for me.
Luke will continue playing for South Mountain for 2 years as he prepares to try and make the leap to Division I golf. Though he has a long way to go in his career, his coach says he has made an impact on the team so far.
Usually a player like that comes a little bit more developed than someone that's played here their whole life, and so someone like him, it was real important just because, like you said, it validates of what we're doing internationally, and he just comes in, kind of can help every player a little bit more.
3 months into his journey here in the States, and Luke Gregg is right on par to take his next step in his golfing career. In Phoenix, Joseph Furtado, Cronkite News.
The Cougars finished out their season with a tournament at Dobson Ranch in Mesa over the weekend. That's all for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Autria.
Thanksgiving is just 10 days away, but there will be a few less places you'll be able to get some last-minute turkey. See why major retailers are keeping their doors closed on the holiday.
Ain't no time for imitation, ain't no time for playing. I'm just gonna do me.
Know what I'm saying?
Try to steer the trouble.
Where's the fun in that? You know how ladies can be.
I'ma do what I do.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
That way the flavors will marry nicely.
Can you tell me what I'm looking at?
I'm not looking for love, I'm looking for cookies.
And there's still places to discover.
It just absorbs you.
You can make this at home if you can't find it.
I will continue to eat and drink until you get here. Get here fast.
Cheers.
Oh, look at that. Oh, doesn't that look good?
We are going to be eating well.
It does work.
It does.
We got a happy little sky.
We're just getting started.
As Thanksgiving approaches next week, it's becoming clear that Thanksgiving Day shopping is a thing of the past.
And there's a handful of major retailers that have announced they will remain closed on Thanksgiving. Target, Walmart, Best Buy, and Kohl's will all keep their doors closed next Thursday. It's a practice first started during the COVID-19 pandemic, and a push towards online shopping has limited the need for realtors to open up. Labor advocates have long argued that workers should be able to spend the holidays with their families. That's it for Cronkite News tonight.
Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.